Well, Australians are paying as much as 50% more than US consumers when buying music, software and games. Tech giants Apple, Adobe and Microsoft have been named as some of the worst offenders. For more, we're joined by Ingrid Eust from Choice. Good morning to you, Ingrid.
Hi.
This would be a lot of people out there who would be involved in this would know about it already, but for those who don't, why are there price differences between identical products in the US and here?
And that's the question we want to have answered. There's a parliamentary inquiry on at the moment, and they've received a shopping list from us and others looking at some of the price discrepancies. We looked at 200 digital products, and we found when it comes to Wii games, 88% more consumers in Australia paying versus those in the US. iTunes, PC games, 50 to 52% more we're paying here.
Is there any possible explanation? For example, you mentioned a couple of ones there, but another one is that the AC/DC Complete Collection that was released on iTunes last week, it was being sold for $229 or $230 effectively in an Australian store, and $150 in the US store for the same thing. How do they justify those expenses? The point is they don't.
You've hit the nail on the head. The point is they don't. The parliamentary inquiry has heard from many different consumer groups and interested stakeholders here in the country. There's a shopping list of examples like that which you've just provided now. Yet Adobe, Apple and Microsoft have not appeared. They haven't done the please explain. So what we're doing now is saying to the parliamentary inquiry, the committee that is meeting this week, subpoena these big tech giants to come forward and explain why the differences are there. Essentially, they need to force a vote in the House of Representatives to get these guys to answer the music.
Especially in light of the currency. I mean, we're $1.05
That's
US.
right.
It should be, if anything, it should be a lot cheaper
right.
than what it is. Are you going to be able to, even if they're subpoenaed, are we going to be able to do anything about it to make them more accountable? Or will they use some excuse to justify those expenses?
Look, we need to hear the reasons why, what it is that they're saying as to why we're paying up to 50% more, some cases even beyond that, and then some real solutions put in place to make sure that consumers are actually being treated fairly wherever they sit in the world.
What about if they say, for example, oh, well, hang on a second, we need to protect some of the jobs in Australia, so you need to go to the stores. Does that wash?
Look, we're talking about digital downloads. So these are downloads where there aren't the same overheads as a physical retailer. We're talking about iTunes, we're talking about PC games, we're talking about software, where you don't need those sorts of levels of infrastructure.
You see no reason, do you?
No, and that's why we're saying come to Australia, front the parliamentary inquiry and put the reasons on the table, and then it's up to us to say, well, hang on a minute, that's not right. Let's try and get some sort of resolution to this so consumers aren't being ripped off.
Can that happen before Christmas? Or is it going to take 7 years?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We need the vote in the House of Reps first.
OK, well, let's hope that happens. We'll put pressure from our end as well. Good on you,
Good.
Ingrid. Thank you very much for that. Fighting the good fight, Lisa.